We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton-Smith? Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes. Number 3, please.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to receive, file, approve publication, notice of public hearing request by the City of Waterloo to rezone approximately .19 acres from C2 Commercial District to R3 Multiple Residential District to allow Iowa Habitat for Humanity to split 2 lots into 3 but maintain a single zoning on the 3 lots located at 512 Almond Street.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there anybody that would like to discuss this item? Going a second time?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
I can make a motion to close the hearing and receive and file oral and written comments and the recommendation and approval of Planning, Programming, and Zoning Commission.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to receive, file, consider, and pass for the first time an ordinance amending ordinance number 5079 as amended City of Waterloo zoning ordinance by amending the official zoning map referred to in section 10-4-4, approving the request by the City of Waterloo to rezone approximately .19 acres from C2 Commercial District to R3 Multiple Residential District to allow Iowa Habitat for Humanity to split 2 lots into 3 but maintain a single zoning of the 3 lots located at 512 Almond Street.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Council?
Mayor Pro Tem.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Bozen. Go ahead.
I think this is a really beneficial change in our ability to get that building tore down that's been there forever, that's just been an eyesore, and to get 3 houses in that location. Habitat does a wonderful job in this community, and we should support them any way we can.
Absolutely. All right. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton-Smith?
yes,
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
We have a motion. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton-Smith?
yes,
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Mr. President.
Motion to consider and pass for the second and third time and adopt the ordinance.
Second.
We have a motion. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton-Smith? Mr. Childs? Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes. Can somebody read number 4 into the record, please?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
I would want to read into the record that the the public hearing for the request by City of Waterloo to vacate 20-foot drainage easement on lots 4 and 5 of Warp Second Edition in the M-2 P Planned Industrial District located at and adjacent to 4050 Loversea Road has been canceled.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. On to the resolutions 1 and 2, please.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to adopt the following resolutions. First is a resolution approving a permanent easement agreement in the amount of $10,184 and a temporary easement agreement in the amount of $790 and reimbursement for pavement removal in the amount of $6,628, totaling a just compensation amount of $17,602 with JP Management Corp. located at 1224 LaPorte Road in conjunction with the LaPorte Road Phase 2 reconstruction project, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said documents. And number 2, a resolution approving a development agreement with Three Stooges LLC for the construction of an 8,200 square foot commercial building and construction of a future 8,200 square foot building with a minimum assessed value of $1 million with 7 years at 50% tax rebates and land acquisition grant of $604,612.80 located south of 2661 Geraldine Road, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document.
Have a second, please.
Second.
Thank you. All
second,
right. All right. We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Mr. Dreyer.
David Dreyer, 3145 West 4th Street. Please explain why we keep doing this. It's supposed to have a minimum assessed value of $1 million. We're gonna have over $600,000 in it. We don't get one bit of value out of it as far as a share of the businesses or whatever that's gonna go in there. And this does not help the taxpayer that much, because all of the rebates you're giving him and for 7 years, probably won't live that long. We gotta stop that crap. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Council?
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Mr. Bozen.
I'm against number 2 on the purchasing of the lots. I think I've always been not supportive of the purchasing of where we come in and just buy the lots. Kitty corner from there, not that far away, we've got all of that city lots that we own over there off of Warp Drive. And we give those away for $1 because we own the land. But when we don't own the land, we're gonna buy the lot, give them the lots for $1, and then we're eating that expense. 2 buildings, $500,000 each, I believe. I don't think they're $1 million each. By the time we collect enough taxes to pay that back, it won't be in my lifetime. Like I say, we've got land at Warp Drive that I think that Midport Development TIF is taxed to be as it is with our new international paper contract. You know, we're going to be 12 to 17 million into that, depending on what that rail spur is. We've got more roads and infrastructure to put in. You know, I sit on the Waterworks board. The Waterworks has been contacted to pay for the water going into the additional infrastructure out there in that Warp Drive area, where the TIF has paid for it in the past because we're financially strapped on that TIF. We've got $400,000 in fencing coming out of there. We got $1.6 million in bill payments coming out of that TIF area to pay for the north crossing. I just think it's a bad policy, and I wish we would come up with something different, and I can't support it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bozen.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Simon?
Kind of along those same lines, I'm all in favor of new development. I think I've said it here before, and I'm a strong proponent of development, especially if it's creating jobs. This TIF sounds from what Mr. Bozen just said, it sounds like this TIF is strapped. I'm all in favor of these buildings, but I'm not in favor of the large, long-term tax abatements that we're giving some of these people, and then the amount of money we're putting up front. Like I said, I wish there was a better place to do this, or I'd like to see the buildings maybe put somewhere else, but we just can't continue at this pace. So I'm a no in the way it's written. I'm a yes for the development of the buildings, but I'm a no the way it's written. So just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Childs?
So I'm a little confused too about the grant amount. Could that be clarified on why it's so high?
Mr. Anderson?
Noel Anderson, Community Planning and Development Director. So the City of Waterloo started a while back with 3 phases of Geraldine Road, which is the site that this is on, which is located within the East Unified TIF District. Since 2010, building the 3 phases of road there, we've actually had 9 projects that have brought $11.05 million in new taxable value to the City of Waterloo, and we don't have a number on the jobs yet, but we're working to acquire that. One of the reasons that we work through these development agreements, sometimes with our own land being sold for $1, which again, you have to remember when we're selling land for $1, we have built the roads and the water and the sewer and the infrastructure and the gas and electric, so there's a lot of costs. In sites like this, we worked with the property owner. They dedicated the land to us for free for the road construction, and then they were responsible for putting in the gas, electric, water, sewer, all the other utilities that did not serve the road. So the cost is based on $4 a square foot. That's a pretty common price out there for development land, especially along highway systems. So essentially we are offering them the same deal as if we were giving the land for $1 by buying it with the East Unified TIF money. We believe that the TIF is doing very well, actually, with the amount of construction we're seeing out there and growing tax base to be able to afford this.
So essentially what you're saying is that $604,000 of work has been done on this property already?
They've had to put in all the infrastructure for the entire subdivision, yes.
Okay. And okay, that makes more sense, because that was the second confusion that I had. So minimum assessed value, is that for both buildings?
That is for both buildings.
But each
they will
one is-
build the first building, and as soon as that one gets its CO, they will start construction on the second.
So they're both $1 million each, or they?
No, it's
both?
$1 million total.
Well, it is $1 million total. Do we have potential company that wants to actually be in this building? Do we have something coming into it? Or
We do
is this
not.
just a-
This is Fischel's group. They have built small spec buildings like this before. 3 on Martin, and of course, they built some bigger ones on Leversey and a slightly bigger one on Leversey, and they filled them all. So we feel pretty confident working with them in the partnership.
Do you know how long it would take for them to start construction on the second building after completion of the first building if they're able to find a tenant quickly?
Generally, this time of year, so it'll depend on if they get going before the weather or they start in the spring. It'll probably take them about 12 to 14 months for the first building to be done, then they'll start on the second.
Okay, is there a way in these council meetings, when we have a project that has some type of grant or something like this, could you explain where this money comes from in the front end? Because I think that would help me in particular. I mean, we've talked about this already in the past, but just knowing upfront, this is what's already been invested in that land, and this is why we're doing this, helps show why we're choosing to do something. Something you did say that I just wanted to clarify on when you originally started talking about the infrastructure, you said we paid for that. That was just a misspoke.
The city of Waterloo was able to get RISE funds for the road.
Okay.
Jamie can probably tell you the road, when we get RISE funds, those projects are DOT led. And so we only build the road and a small storm sewer system for draining the road. So anything else above that for water, additional sewer, sanitary sewer, gas, all that other stuff is on the developer's costs.
Okay, and this TIF you say is healthy?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
Hey, no, I had a question about performance, but you had answered the first one. What is Three Stooges' performance on meeting the assessed value that they're shooting for when we do these types of agreements?
So whenever we get a project like this, we basically take their building plans, we send them over to the county assessor. He says what he's going to put on them for taxes. And then, of course, everyone signs the agreement. So it's going to be assessed at that minimum value. I would say, over the last few years, a lot of the buildings that we've seen have gone up in value as building values in general in the community have increased. But we've had no problems with them meeting the minimum assessed value.
And then you had mentioned about, if when we give away the lot for $1, we typically have a lot of infrastructure into it. Of a lot this size, would it be reasonable to estimate that we would typically have put this amount of money into the development? Is it less? How close are we?
We can definitely figure that up on a linear foot basis or something like that, what it had to take to get to there, because again, this was all just vacant land when we started working on it. So there'd be quite a bit of cost with all the utilities there.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Noel,
I struggle with it because we're gonna pay and buy that lot for them, buy those 2 lots for them, and if the person that owns these lots decided to charge us $1 million for the 2 lots, would we give them $1 million to reimburse them for the 2 lots?
We've been pretty consistent with the $4 per square foot, I guess, basically throughout the commercial industrial areas that we've been working with.
And the reason I ask is because we're giving tax abatements to that self-storage unit out on Marnie up like $1.2 million over the course of the project, because that's what they paid for the land. And I just think it's a slippery slope. That's just my opinion, but I appreciate all of your information. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir. Hold on. Mrs. Creighton-Smith, did you have anything? No. I just wanted to make sure you didn't have anything. Mr. Simon, go ahead.
So going back to what you said earlier, do we know, I was trying to read this again as we're talking here. You had touched on something when you asked, I think when you answered Mr. Child's question. Do we know what the purpose of these buildings is going to be more specifically?
We do not. They are spec industrial space, very similar to the ones built on Martin Road, just north of Ridgeway, if you want to see what they're going to kind of look like. And those will all have basically small businesses in them. They're set up for either 1 or 2 businesses, depending upon the size of the business.
Okay, so there's a possibility that they will be employing people and providing a.
They are definitely set up to have employees there. They're not storage units.
They're not going to be used by the person that's building them then. They're going to build them, market them out, and try to get somebody to lease them from them. Is that correct?
That is correct. That's what they've done with all their other sites, yes.
Okay, thank you.
One final thing, these are not dissimilar from what we see in neighboring communities, correct? Being built along Highway 20?
They're not what?
Dissimilar from what we're seeing being built along Highway 20 in neighboring communities.
That is correct.
These spec places. Okay, thank you. All right, any further questions? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes on 1, no on 2.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith? Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
And Mr. Foyce?
Yes. 3, 4, and 5, please.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Mr. Childs?
I move to adopt the following resolutions. A resolution authorizing the sponsorship of high-quality tax shop credit application with the Iowa Economic Development Authority for International Paper Company for the addition of up to 72 jobs associated with their new business at 3230 Loversea Road, and rescind resolution number 2025-044 in its entirety. A resolution approving a development agreement with RAP LLC for the construction of a 4,200 square foot commercial building with a minimum assessed value of $273,000 located south of 3135 Marnie Avenue, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute that document. A resolution approving 2 memorandums of understanding with the Iowa Northland Regional Council of Governments in the amount of $29,000 for the preparation of a grant writing and administration of the Economic Development Administration Public Works and Economic Adjustment Assistant Grant for a water detention basin in the Waterloo Air and Rail Park, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute that document.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for resolutions 3, 4, and 5. Public comments?
Number 3 first.
Okay.
I understand when this first started going on, there was like 90 jobs. Now we're down to 72. So are we giving them the same amount of money? Because I know there's been a couple council people that have stressed that we'd like to see the job figure come with the building figure and the money we give them. Number 4, again, we're at the same situation. We're giving them $188,000 for a $273,000 value, buying it for $1. Compensate the seller for the property value. This is a never-ending battle that nobody seems to want to do anything about, like stopping it. Thank you.
Mr. Anderson, can you talk to us about number 3 and the change, please?
Noel Anderson, Community Planning Development Director. So this is the state incentives for the job creation. Obviously, we're aware of the job creation, but there's nothing specific in our development agreement for the number of jobs. But for the state incentives, we did sponsor that. Honestly, I think it was just an error in one of the questions on the state application is how many employees they have statewide and how many businesses they have statewide for International Paper. They were creating 90 jobs. They were actually creating 90 jobs statewide through all their facilities. Originally, the Waterloo portion was going to be 65 of that total of 90, based on more recent data and what they're reapplying to the state for, working out some details. It'll be 72 new jobs in Waterloo. I believe the majority of the other remaining jobs of 18 would be in the Cedar Rapids area, which will have a direct relationship with supplying materials to the Waterloo location.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. All right. Any further public comment? Council?
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, sir.
Number 4, I feel the same way about it as I did over there on Geraldine. $188,179, which wasn't listed on this resolution yet, similar to the $614,000 that was listed on the last resolution. I mean, you got to go into it and find the fine print, but $273,000 of assessed value. The first $150,000 of that assessed value is going to be taxed at the residential property rate. So now you got $123,000 taxed at the commercial property rate at $188,000, and if you're paying $9,000 to $10,000 a year in property taxes, we're not going to see a positive cash flow to even recoup that money in 18 years. And I struggle with this land purchase program that we have. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Any further council questions or discussion? Okay. All right. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes on 3 and 5, no on 4.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Was that a yes, Miss?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes on 3 and 5, no on 4.
And Mr. Foyce?
Yes. 6, 7, and 8, please.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, sir.
Number 6, I'd like to adopt a resolution approving a professional service agreement with AE, Waterloo, Iowa, in conjunction with the emergency building inspection of the building at 325 West Park Avenue in Waterloo, Iowa, which had a portion of southeast wall collapse in need of emergency building inspection, to provide the city of Waterloo with recommendations for building rehabilitation or demolition of the existing structure, in addition to and verify public safety. Number 7 is adopting a resolution approving construction plans for grading, paving, and utilities serving the San Martin Business Park First Edition Phase 2 as submitted by Clapsell Garber Associates with the sewage treatment plant agreement, DNR Form 29, November 00, with the Department of Natural Resources, and final acceptance of construction plans subject to review with the acceptance by the Department of Natural Resources, and authorizing the mayor to execute said documents. And number 8 is a resolution approving a supplemental agreement number 1 with the professional service agreements with both Infrastructure and Environment LLC, originally executed on March 17, 2025, in the amount not to exceed $541,131 in conjunction with the FY 2026 Katowski Drive and Huntington Road Reconstruction Contract number 1123, and authorizing the mayor to execute said document.
Second.
Right, excuse me, we have a motion and a second on 6 through 8. Council, or any discussion?
Forrest Dillevue, 1725 Huntington Road. On this survey for Huntington and the roundabouts up there, I think the citizens of Waterloo ought to have some idea of how much money you're planning on spending of city dollars for these roundabouts. The school has never said they're paying for them. You are just committing us to more and more dollars all the time. There appears to be nothing going to be done about the storm sewer runoff in that area. You are going to drown those people in that area. It's one of the wettest areas in the whole city of Waterloo. And now you're going to put roundabouts, more concrete, more water running off. There is no way for that water to get over that levee when it rains like it has lately, unless you put in a gas-powered pump on the levee, pumping it over, because they plug it up. We are in a bathtub down there and every time the creek comes up, the plug is down. There is not enough pumps to keep that pumped over. Already it's running across Huntington Road, it's taking the dirt and the silt across Huntington Road and down the waterway, through the levee. We're sending her on down to Cedar Rapids, all that old clay that they got up there on the hill. If you go up and look at the site, you got mountains of dirt. The neighbors are even calling it a mountain. Mountains of dirt and a hole back there that looks like I don't know what it's going to be, but it's very, very deep. You need to go up and look at that construction outfit and see what's going on up there. And think about you're going to flood that part of Waterloo. Make it totally worthless. Thank you.
Thank you. Jamie, can you talk to us a little bit about the storm sewer runoff for this particular project, please?
Jamie Knudsen, city engineer. The easiest question to answer first. 2 weeks ago, council approved an agreement with the Waterloo School District to pay for their portion. It's about a 60-40 split, give or take. The money for the reconstruction portion for the city is going to come out of local option dollars. Oh, let's see. Currently, Katowski is 4 lanes out there. With the roundabouts, we're going to 2 lanes, so there should be a net decrease in paving. We're going to look at the storm sewer system, and that's part of what's in the agreement tonight with FOTH, is to look at some of that stuff. Currently, and I've been here for 30 years, working on the flood control system, the storm sewer does come down there and it does dump out at the dead end of Scott Avenue into the levee. Mr. Dillevue is correct that when the Blackhawk Creek is up, we do have to shut the gate to close off to make sure stormwater does not come back into the neighborhood. At that point, Waste Management goes out and sets up a number of gas-powered pumps to pump water over to the levee. As far as the mountain of dirt at the Katowski, or at the school site, they are in the process of digging their large detention basin, and they actually have several detention basins they are installing on their property. They are designed to meet the current city ordinance, which is to detain the amount of water between the 5-year in 100 years. So they are going to have a large basin out there, and that's the big one right there at the corner of Huntington and Katowski. There'll be another one on the west side of the schools that will help with the drainage going into that neighborhood to the west over there. Did I get them all? I think so.
Yep, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, any other public comments? Council?
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, Mr. Bozen.
Mr. Knudsen, can you tell us of this $541,131, how much the school's paying for?
Right now, again, it's, until we get into final design, it's about a 60-40 split for the
60
schools.
60 school?
60 school.
But we don't have anything in writing that says 60-40. This is just what you told us last week in this.
Correct. Again, it's based on the amount that is required for them to put in all the roundabouts and all of their stuff. For Huntington, north of or up through Downing, and then east and west on Huntington as well.
I know there's a number of complaints of what's going on, and it had nothing to do with this, but what's going on that road through Miriam's Park. It's like, I mean, it's like they're trying to put a road on a wetlands. They just keep digging and digging and digging, and it's, I mean, there's a mountain of dirt. I mean, they call it Mount Miriam now. There's that much dirt sitting there, and there's a lot of upset neighbors, and I hope we can get to the bottom of what's going on there too, because I know the neighborhood is really upset. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't answer that one. I have not, the schools have not reached out to me with discussing anything through Miriam's Park, so.
They
that
just
doesn't
keep
have
digging
anything-
deeper, trying to find bedrock.
I'm guessing they've just, with all the rains, I'm guessing they're just trying to find something decent to stop so they can actually build on. That's my guess, but I haven't been out there to look at it.
I know one thing, I couldn't see a track, I could just see the top of a track hoe. So
Could be.
that's
Well,
deep.
and I'd have to look, there was some, I'd have to look, and don't hold me to this, but I think there was some water stuff, the water main that they were doing out there as well, or maybe it was their geothermal, the outlets that they're doing out there, so that
Thank
could
you.
be it as well.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Simon?
Just two things. You had mentioned just now, you said we're looking at the runoff situation in the water. Isn't that something that should have been done before all this all started? I mean, what are we gonna do if we find out we can't fix it? Are we just screwed? So
I
all
mean,
this
the-
additional.
The water runoff coming from the school should be improved because they are going to have some very large basins out there that are gonna hold the water and let it out slower than what it's running off their property now.
Okay.
So that's the whole idea. So that the same volume of water is still going to go through that neighborhood. It just goes through at a much slower amount or a much lower amount at a slower pace. That's the whole idea of these basins, is to hold it and let it out slowly so that the city's storm sewer isn't overwhelmed. Now, there are portions on the north side of Huntington, the northeast corner of Huntington and Katowski, that is all privately owned. There is a big chunk of that that's, well, I shouldn't say privately owned, the school just bought it here not too long ago. Eventually, when they decide to develop that, they will have to install stormwater detention basins to bring that into compliance with the 100-year storm sewer development requirements. Currently, right now, it's farm field, it's being actively farmed, so there isn't a whole lot that we can do about that.
So once again, I keep hearing estimates and abouts and nothing for sure. Whether you let the water out really fast or if you let it off really slow, it's still gonna go to one place and it's gonna sit there unless I mean, no matter where you're retaining it to begin with, you're letting it out slow or if you're letting it out fast, it's still gonna end up at the
Correct.
very bottom.
And at that point, when they're in it, and the only time that we need to pump it is when Blackhawk Creek is in flood stage.
Okay?
And we don't want the water to come back into the neighborhood, so we close the gate off at the levee. It's at that point then the sewer department goes out and sets up portable pumps to pump the water from the dry side to the wet side. Otherwise, the storm sewer gate is open all of the time.
Okay. So, and then the other thing, I keep hearing this school portion, city portion, and I still have never heard anything that's exactly what the percentages are.
And
Is that, so when we vote on this stuff, we're voting on supposedly or possibly 60-40. but we don't know.
Correct.
So we're
because
voting on something we don't even know.
until I do final design and have the exact limits determined as far as how far back the roundabout has to go on Huntington, I can't give you an exact number. So I have to do the design in order to get an exact area that the school is going to be responsible for. But I have to have that. So having the school agree up front that they are going to pay for their percentage based on however far we have to go back to make the roundabout work, that their traffic study says we need to install, that's what I have to do. I can't, I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. I
think
can't
we are
give you-
too.
I can't give you a direct percentage until I have the design.
Yeah, it would be nice to have that. I mean, we continue to pass supplemental agreements and all these things for the school location that it's at, and it's all speculation. So I just want to express my concern that I don't understand how that is not part of the city's planning when we do a big venture like this, but that's just me. Thank you.
Any other council questions?
I don't have a question, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, but I have
Mr.
just
Childs.
a quick comment. In this area, if we're having to bring, I've said this before, if we're having to bring out these pumps, I think we need to make the investment in having a permanent one over there. So I just want to say that on the record again, that I've said this in this area before, that if we're going, and I've been over there, the neighbors have called me over there during these raining sessions that have happened this summer, and I've seen what they're dealing with. This, from what I'm understanding, what the school is doing now should help with this problem, but it doesn't sound like it's going to alleviate it.
Mr. Knudsen.
Jamie Knudsen, city engineer. We have looked, excuse me. We have looked into the cost of a new lift station. A canned lift station, basically meaning it's a giant pump. You come out, you dig a hole. I'm making it sound simplistic, but it's like a giant sump pump.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term. It's about $500,000 at least, and that's just for the equipment. For something that, and Mr. Bennett would be able to speak to this better than I can, for the number of times a year that they would go out and set up a portable pump, you can pay an awful lot of man hours to take out a 6-inch trash pump and set it up and run it for a few hours rather than investing $500,000 or more dollars in a lift station that'll get used a couple times a year. It's a cost benefit thing is what it comes down to.
Well, not to go back and forth, my reasoning is because then that prevents us from having to have the issues in the first place. Because then you don't have to worry about going out there to do the work and you don't have to worry about closing anything. It's just done in the beginning. So I understand. Yeah, it's a decision that we have to make. Is it worth paying that for that? I personally think it is, but it's up to the full council for something like that.
Thanks, Mr. Childs. Madam Clerk. roll
Mr.
call.
Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Childs? Mr. Simon?
Yes on 6 and 7, no on 8.
And Mr. Foyce?
Yes. 9, 10, and 11, please.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes, sir.
I move to adopt the following resolution. The resolution approving a professional service agreement with Oakdale Inc. of Oakdale, Minnesota in the amount of $9,500 in conjunction with the rental car quick turnaround facility concept development project and authorizing the Director of Aviation to execute said document. A resolution approving an agreement with Routeware Incorporated of Portland, Oregon in the amount of $2,725.38 for 36 months in conjunction with the Recollect software program and authorizing the mayor and city mayor to execute said document. And a resolution approving the audit engagement letter with Bergen KDV for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025, and authorizing the mayor to execute said document.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Going a second time. Council?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes, sir.
just want to say I'm extremely in support of the work that Director Carrion is doing at the airport and looking forward to getting more people in our cars here in Waterloo.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
On number 10, can we get, how far along are we as far as getting, do we know how many people, if I can ask, how many people have signed up or are visiting the app or using the app? I just want to know what the effectiveness at this point and how it's going.
Mr. Bennett?
Yeah, Randy Bennett, Public Works Division Manager. So It varies as far as monthly, as far as how many people are actually using it. But to date, when you look at between the web and as far as what is the app, we're at 76.3% people are using the app in comparison to the web. So that's actually good. So when we actually go to do the announcements as far as like, say, we have to change your collection date for a holiday or whatever, it's making it better for us getting that communication out there. When it comes to individuals that just did like the print downloads, if they just wanted to know like the calendar, we had 848 of them so far this last calendar year as far as who's printed that off. Active reminders and or searches, it varies from one month to the next, but we're averaging just under 3,000 active individuals going through the app looking for addresses of their collections and things like that. So the exact number I don't have because it varies, but when we get the notifications as of right now, active reminders, we're at 2,879. So that's where they chose to take the push notifications. But not everybody chooses to have that notification sent to them. So, but that's where we're at. We're always keep trying to push to get more individuals. We'd like to eventually have everybody, but that's just going to take some time.
So are we still mailing the garbage pickups? We're not mailing those?
Yep.
So that's completely shut off?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have accommodated some that specifically wanted to, but we try to walk them through the site because you can actually just get it off of that. But we strongly discourage that. We want you to go through the app to do that.
And then did we do like a mailing to all of the customers
We don't do the
to get them to get more people on the app? Because if you said 800 and some, even 3,000, that's a small percentage of the people of Waterloo compared to how many mailers did we send out every year? How many people received the calendars?
Right around 11,000.
Okay, so we're quite a long ways away from the 11,000 that we were.
For being just right into a year, yes.
I was just
and I
hoping
think
that-
some of it has to do with, depends on when your makeup days are, because it just kind of, it varies from one year to the next, just because it's always changing.
Sure.
So I think as you get the individuals that get impacted by that, when we go to call and get more notifications, but I will here's like a positive note, for example, the 4th this last year, we didn't actually have to go back and rerun the entire route for that day in comparison to what we did last year, where we had to go run the route, just because I think we had more individuals that was in that area that realized to do that. So I think as the app's out longer and we get more individuals signed up, we're going to have better service.
I'm excited for it. I'm just hoping that you could get more people to use it, or that, hopefully they don't need it. It's just regular, your regular pickups. But I just wanted a little update on that, and hopefully we can get more people to utilize it. Thank you.
Yeah, Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Bozen.
And it's okay, Mr. Bennett. I do want to say that I use the app and I like it. And like when we had that excessive rain and the tree dump closed, I got a notification. When the high winds and the dump is closed, I got a notification. If there's a heavy police presence somewhere, you get a notification. Okay, so the system works, and I hope more people sign up for it.
I agree.
It's a great system, so, all right.
Saying this is the last calendar with a big old, I didn't know if, I wasn't gonna say that on that. I was just thinking it's too bad that there
Maybe
wasn't.
what we can do is just look at some potential to help market it more.
Yeah, I don't know if it was